So how do you start putting down your ideas? Do you just kind of brainstorm and pull it all out there?
I keep notepads with me for different things, and I scribble down notes all the time, because you never know when you're going to get an idea for something.
That's true.
And then other times, like with Spider-Man, we have these summits, and we're all throwing ideas out there, and then you're building off of other guys' ideas, and with that we have to make sure that all the storylines fit together, and if there's a running thread that it goes through everybody's stories. So there'll be a lot of, playing back and forth with stuff. It all comes from lots of different places. I find sometimes like my best ideas is like when I'm watching something, and Mark Grunwald used to have a saying. He was a senior editor at Marvel. He says, if you're watching a movie and you can see the end coming, that's a crime. And if you're watching a movie and you can think of something better, that's a sin. So, but I find that those sins are where I get my best ideas, where I'm watching something like, why didn't the guy just go in the house? Or why didn't they call the cops? Or why didn't he do that? And you go, how would that work?
How did you develop your style, and how do you feel like your writing has changed since you started?
I think I've become more of a hack, and I'm kidding. No, I think, you can't find a style, and you can't try to be something you're not. I think, if you try to be something you're not, you're going to be a pale imitation. Everyone has their own voice. It can't be helped.
That's true.
So you should just embrace who you are and what you do. That said, don't ever let anyone pigeonhole you into one thing.
Since many of us at X-Men Nation are writers and artists and things like that, could you tell us about the moments when you kind of hit a wall or got stuck and how you made it overcome?
I have never hit a wall or gotten stuck. If you're hitting a wall or getting stuck, you suck. No, I'm kidding. Everyone's going to hit a wall. To me, the most important thing you have to get through those moments is your think tank. That you can't be creative in a vacuum. If you're creative in a vacuum, you will get stuck in your box. And you need to have a sounding board. Even if it's a friend who's not a writer. Just someone to bounce your stories off of. Because they will ask you questions. Well, why doesn't he go to the police? Or why didn't he do that? Or that doesn't make sense. Or the law doesn't work that way. They'll tell you things. And even if they're telling you things that aren't helpful, the fact that it's a different voice will get you to look at it. It'll snap you out of the box in a different way. That's all that. You're not really hitting the wall. You're stuck in a box, and all you need is for someone to get you thinking in a different way and looking in a different direction. There are tricks you can do, even if you are alone, to do that. Like for example, and if you hit a wall and you can't go forward, even if you go on a horribly wrong tangent, even if you start writing stuff you're never going to use, or drawing a layout that isn't working, if you just work through it, it'll give you an idea. You just keep going. Every now and then I hear someone saying, shake it off, go for a walk, screw that. Work through it. Fight through it, you'll find the thing. Because there are times where you don't have the luxury to go for a walk or to reminisce. No, so there are things you can do. Like you could say to yourself, come up with the most inappropriate writer for what you're doing. Like let's say you're doing, you're writing an Ed Brubaker-y crime story. You can say to yourself, well, how would this science fiction writer that I really like get out of this? Or how would Mel Brooks write this scene? How would someone who is so inappropriate for this, and it'll crack you up, or it'll get you thinking in a weird way, and all this work you've done is useless. It's never going to see the light of day. But it'll be something that snaps you out of your box. Wait a minute, what if I did that? And then you'll find it. You'll find that thing.
That's some really good advice, yeah. So, Joe Quesada is known for having a really warm approach to his staff. Has he given you any advice? Because all the fans that I've talked to, fans of you, say that you're one of the most approachable, and you are one of the most approachable
I am.
writers, yes.
I think it's because I'm physically I'm just not intimidating at all. You could take me. You could lay me out. So it's like, I'm not worried about that guy. You try to come up and, give Warren Ellis a hug. You'll be dead. Kidding, he's wonderful. He'll buy you a drink. He's great. But no, Joe is great. Joe is why Marvel is what Marvel is right now. It's just Joe Quesada and his gut instinct. He does no wrong. Anyone who meets Joe Quesada likes Joe Quesada. He's very open to ideas. He's great with the staff. He's really excited about comics, and he's really excited about the characters. And he likes, breaking the toys. He's not afraid to break the toys. He's not one of the things you hear Bendis saying a lot now is we need to be fearless. And I think Joe is the embodiment of that. He's very fearless about getting a new idea or throwing that thing out. At the same time, I've been places where Joe will be sitting back and he'll be listening as all these other writers are pitching ideas and building something big. And Joe will be looking at it and go, no, that does not work. We need to start from scratch. And when you hear that, like you might have been spending all day at a retreat working on some big idea, and everyone's throwing in ideas, and everyone's fighting for things, and everyone gets very passionate about this thing, but then Joe can look at it and see the big piece that doesn't work, and then he'll crush it. And you'll have this horrible night of, oh, we just wasted a day. We just totally wasted a day, and we wasted all this energy. But then you go in the next day, and Joe's there, and he gets everyone pumped up again, and you realize that everything you just went through, just like we were talking before, you needed to go through that to chuck it out, and you come at it in a whole new angle the next day. It's work. A lot of this stuff is work. It's like if you're a fan, you get to sit at home, and if you're really interested in writing, maybe you do fanfic. When you're doing fanfic, you're doing it in a vacuum. There's no editor to kill it. There's no editor-in-chief to say that doesn't fall into our line-wide idea, or you can't do that to that character. We have a movie coming out with that character. They can't do X, Y, or Z. You can't have them kill a puppy. But I wrote the world's greatest fanfic where Hulk ate a puppy. I have Ed Norton in the other room. He's not eating the puppy. You can't. So it's Ed Norton. But that's the cool thing about Joe, is that he's the guy who will push forward ideas, and at the same time he'll find a weakness in it, but he'll encourage you and egg you on to find the thing that works. Great guy.